So, Anthem is in a weird place right now. While it's not technically dead, one could hardly call it alive. It's just alive in the sense that the game hasn't completely been shut down, but there's just not much happening in the game in terms of content updates. In fact, not long ago, we learned that Anthem has still maintained Christmas decorations in the game, which is unusual for a live service. Usually by February, a live service will have moved on to other seasonal events more representative of current events, but Anthem, even today, I think, still has those Christmas decorations up, and so people have kind of been making fun of that. Even news outlets have been talking about how it's relatable, the way Anthem leaves up Christmas decorations long after Christmas is over. It's all just indicative of a game that feels like it's been abandoned by not just the players, but also the developers. There's, of course, the overhaul that Bioware is currently working on for Anthem, and that's probably where most, if not all, of their time and resources are going as far as the Anthem team is concerned. Bioware relayed that information in this update where they talked about how they're pretty much overhauling the gameplay. No mention of story, which is a bit disconcerting, but given how weak Anthem's gameplay is in terms of design and gameplay loop and reward system, it is more prudent to focus on gameplay for now and overhaul that aspect first. So they're working on it, and who knows how that'll pan out, but in the meantime, the game just feels so sad and pitiful. It's just, I've never seen anything quite like this on a AAA scale. Even a game like Fallout 76, which had a disastrous launch, has some kind of forward momentum, whereas Anthem has come to a complete standstill as Bioware works on the overhaul. And further highlighting how deserted this game feels is something that a lot of people and outlets took note of. On top of the Christmas decorations being left up, there is the fact that Anthem recently had its first birthday, its first anniversary, and Bioware didn't really do much to celebrate that event, and Anthem as a game, as a live service, didn't really do anything to call attention to the occasion, which is very unusual for a live service game that traditionally strives to keep up with current events and make everything feel like it's alive and constantly evolving, and like it's reacting to the community. And so this is something that was noted by news outlet IGN, among many others. It reads right here, Anthem's fans celebrated the game's first birthday, even if Bioware didn't. Developer Bioware held no in-game celebration, nor recognized the date on the Bioware or Anthem Twitter feeds. Anthem turned 1 year old on February 22nd, as perhaps a sign as to the game's current state. Christmas decorations from the Ice Tide event still litter the Fort Tarsis social hub, and snow still falls gently from the sky. These were not replaced with birthday or anniversary elements to mark Anthem's 12 months of being live, unlike what many other MMOs or shared world games typically do. It's not as if Bioware had to do all that much to just say happy birthday to the game. They could have put up like a banner or just some visual element recognizing the game's anniversary, but they couldn't even be bothered to do that, and it just makes the game feel that much more abandoned by the developers. It makes everything feel that much more pitiful, and I guess putting up a banner or, birthday cake in the game wouldn't have done that much to bolster the optics surrounding the game. But just a general lack of recognition just makes this feel like Bioware is just completely detached from the game. And I know they're working on the overhaul, so they're hunkering down and trying to revive this thing. But just the fact that there's zero signs of life to the point where the game wouldn't even celebrate its anniversary is very telling of just how poorly the launch of Anthem was executed and how poorly the post-launch has gone. And as noted by IGN, if you go to the official Bioware Twitter page, there is nothing about Anthem's anniversary. Even on the Anthem official Twitter, there's just been no shout-out about the game's anniversary. It's just a simple little gesture they could have put out there at the very least to show some sign of life, but the fact that we can't even get that highlights just how dire things are. And the cherry on top to all of this is that Casey Hudson did promise that, quote, "we'll keep the game going with events, store refreshes, and revisiting past seasonal and Cataclysm content, starting with our anniversary towards the end of the month." This is what Casey Hudson said would happen while BioWare continues to work on the Anthem overhaul. It says right here that they would have some plans for the game's anniversary, and yet here we are, and maybe we will see some kind of event towards the end of the month. I mean, technically, there's still a couple days left until the month is over, or maybe we'll see that event happen in March, or I don't know, maybe it won't happen at all, hard to say. But it's just so telling about the studio when BioWare talks about celebrating the anniversary, but cannot do so on the day of, and can't even provide an update when they miss the deadline, so people are kind of left wondering what's going on. I mean, is an anniversary celebration happening at all, or did BioWare just forget about it? Has it just been delayed? Nobody knows. So instead, what's left of the Anthem community has taken to the subreddit in celebration of Anthem's anniversary, showed off gameplay moments, montages, their favorite character builds, memories and experiences, all kinds of just posts from really loyal people who are showing hope that things can look up down the line. The fact that this is what the players have to resort to, a subreddit celebration and sort of gathering, rather than being able to celebrate in-game through some kind of special event or content that BioWare prepared in consideration of the players and the community. I mean, good lord. All this talk about an overhaul and how things will get better, how BioWare will do better, and yet if they can't even fulfill an anniversary event as promised on the day of the anniversary, how can BioWare inspire any semblance of confidence that things will change after the overhaul releases? Now, while BioWare's official Twitter and Anthem's official Twitter didn't celebrate Anthem's anniversary, we did see some of the Anthem developers take to Twitter to make some acknowledgement about Anthem's first year. And this is a tweet from Jonathan Warner, who is a game director at BioWare. He said, "Happy birthday, Anthem. What a journey this has been. My life has been forever changed this past year, and I want to thank all of you who have played and enjoyed the game. To the community that has stuck by us, you are amazing. I have no words. Just love and gratitude. Hashtag stronger together." I personally think that when you're in a situation like this, you should on some level acknowledge, you know what, we messed up. That's what rings more honest to me, if one were to acknowledge what's both going wrong and what they can do right down the line, and just being upfront about what's actually happening with the game rather than painting everything in a positive light when Anthem is not in a good state. And then Andrew Johnson, who is EA BioWare Global Community Lead, also said, "Happy belated birthday to Anthem. I moved to Austin almost 2.5 years ago to work on Anthem, and words can't describe how much I've enjoyed the journey and friendships forged. Thanks for being a part of it, Anthem community." Finally, we did have one tweet from Mark Dara, who just simply tweeted, "Today is Anthem's birthday." That's it. There's like not even an exclamation on this. This is just a statement of fact rather than, "Yay, happy birthday to Anthem." Very sort of like blank statement, which is interesting. I don't know what kind of mood this is trying to set. But yeah, generally speaking, the combination of the Christmas decorations still being up in February and now just the lack of any sort of anniversary update or celebration or acknowledgement from the game itself has paved the way to more negative optics and more just a sense of this game just being in such a sad state. Here we have Eurogamer, who kind of talked about their thoughts on this. The headline reads, "1 year on, Anthem remains a sad monument to a generation of folly, the sound of silence." And even harsher is this whole segment right here that highlights the flaws with the game right now in its unfortunate current state. This reads, "The added result of that announcement," referring to the announcement of the Anthem overhaul and relaunch, "is that what may have started out as scorn for Anthem has turned to something else. It's turned to pity, which honestly might be worse. Yikes. Anthem is a pitiful game, empty of players and full of bland quests that prop up a repetitive grind towards nothingness. It's a crude parody of all of this generation's worst habits, introduced immaculately from the off by Destiny, I should add, mashed up into one 400 release dates, a strange hub bit, some tacked-on lore cheaply disseminated via collectibles, vanilla sci-fi, more currencies than a Forex trading floor that all nudge you towards the in-game shop, and with the addition of the game's fourth stronghold, the worst bullet sponge boss fight I have ever played. It's crunch personified, failed management in action, a monument to focus-tested corporate sanitation. Bioware the victim, a studio of immensely talented people crunched to within an inch of its life, those that remain presumably now making weapon skins for something more capable of paying the dividends. Damn, so Eurogamer kind of ripped Anthem a new one here, but they're not wrong at all with any of these statements. It is exactly right what they're saying here about the current state of Anthem. It is a game that represents the worst habits of the AAA landscape. It's representative of what happens when a AAA game studio is mismanaged, paired with, corporate mandates and a publisher like EA that cares more about monetization than the integrity and artistic merits of their products. Everything really is riding on this overhaul. If they cannot nail that, then this game might as well be as good as dead. And even with the overhaul, it's hard to say if Anthem has lost so much interest that even with a complete sort of redoing of Anthem, they'll be able to bring back interest. Obviously, the ideal outcome would be if this becomes some kind of comeback story. That wouldn't excuse the way the game launched, but at the very least, people who purchased the game would find some reason to go back and find some value in this thing that they bought that didn't initially deliver. But in the meantime, it's hard to deny that Anthem right now is just so depressing. Again, even Fallout 76 with its rough launch feels like it has some semblance of life to it, whereas this, just from the Christmas decorations to the lack of any birthday acknowledgement, any kind of anniversary event. This is just not normal. So there you have it, folks. This is one man's take on the current state of Anthem. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Anthem and whether you think Bioware can pull off a comeback. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.